The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Welcome to Getting to Know You. My name is Joe Nash. Today we're going to be talking about the Troy Turkey Trot. Yet again, our yearly visit. We have with us the executive director of the race, George Regan. And we have with us Kevin O'Connor. He's the executive director of Joseph's House, the homeless shelter, and other things, where if you register for the Turkey Trot, one of the places you can donate to is at Joseph's House. So we're going to find out what they do. So welcome back, George.
Hello.
Good to see you again.
Same here.
This is the 72nd running of the Turkey Trot. I think you've been the executive director for all 72, haven't you? I think.
Do I look that old?
No, but
I do have a little gray.
You are the long-time director. What is this?
It's probably, I was a race director. I've only been the race event director for the last 10 years. But I've been involved with the race right back to the early 80s.
All right, so you've been involved a long
30,
time.
40 years.
Is what I meant. Okay.
Yeah. But, because the city ran it back then, but they kind of turned it over to me and my company. So we do the whole thing now from soup to nuts. It's better. Let them stay with politics. Let me put on the event.
And I will say, from all my years of running, since you've taken over, it coincided with a big increase in runners why don't you talk about it? There was a lull there in maybe mid-90s?
Yeah, well, they were never, the mid-90s, they were never over.
But it is back to last year, there was over 6,500?
Yes, that's correct.
You brought it back. How's that?
Yes, we brought it back up. Very easy to do. You just give the runners what they want. They want a nice T-shirt. Yes. They want a finisher's medal. They want their times to be correct. And now we have chip timing, so the times are instantaneous.
And they wanted, I think, for years, a straight start from the old days of
it's a straight start, and it's flat. The course is relatively flat because it runs right along the river. 10K goes up, turns around at Powers Park, and comes back down again.
And a big factor is always the weather. I know last year, I think it was in single digits. It was freezing last year, but you still had 6,500 runners. Do you know? I know we're a month out, but what's the weather going to be? Do you know?
It's going to be warm and sunny with no wind.
I know.
At least that's what the Farmer's Almanac says.
What was it? About 5 years ago, you guys were shoveling snow the night before.
The night before, it snowed quite a bit. We had to delay the setup of our start and our finish until that morning because the snowplows had to get through and clear the snow.
Morning. Okay. So it
was real pretty that evening while we were giving out the packets and the shirts. I mean, it was just a beautiful winter wonderland, but it was not good for my heart.
So this is the 72nd running. Before we talk about times and everything, George, you and I are from Troy. Kevin, you're from Troy too?
No.
Oh, not from Troy. So you and I know why the Troy Turkey Trot is the best day in the Capital District, particularly if you're from Troy. Why don't you just go over that yet one more time?
Well,
why it's the greatest, and all other turkey trots are pretenders, right?
Well, in this area, it certainly is, hands above anything. But in the nation, it's the 12th oldest, and in the world, it's the 64th oldest.
Okay.
So it has a lot of history and tradition. It started in 1916 as a way to support World War II veterans that were World War I veterans that were coming back. So from 1916 to 1964, it ran 16 times. And then from 1964 to now, it's run, what is it, 55.
Okay.
So this will be the 72nd running, but it'll be the 103rd anniversary.
So when was your first?
So that's history,
Yeah.
that's tradition. And so having had that for all those years, it's just become part of the generations of people
yes.
that have raised their children and were born and raised and lived in Troy.
Now, what year did you first run?
I ran in 79.
Okay, because I first ran in 1970.
No, 81.
Okay.
Sorry.
I first ran in 1975.
Wow.
Although I haven't done the last couple, I shouldn't be admitting that, but
Yes,
I am getting old.
I do have my 10K personal best from that race.
Okay.
So it is near and dear to my heart.
And it is a big day in Troy, many generations. Kevin, have you ever run?
Oh yeah, I run most years.
Okay.
Yep.
You ran
Excellent.
last year,
Yep,
didn't you?
yep. Yep.
Picked a good
And it
cold
was
day.
5 below.
So before we talk about the times and packet pickup and all that stuff, one of the places when you register you can make a donation to is Joseph's House. And we have Kevin's the executive director. He's going to tell us about their organization and how the money that they raise through the Turkey Trot helps them. Your organization has been around since 1982, Kevin.
Yes, yeah, 30 odd years, 37 years.
And I know did it start out, I think if I read the history a little correctly, you started out as a place where people could stay for just one night up to 2 weeks, and now you're up to giving people a permanent housing?
Yeah. So, like many programs that started around that time,
In the 80s.
Troy wasn't unique in responding to homelessness. All of a sudden, businesses and community and civic organizations and people living downtowns noticed people staying on the streets, usually men who were drinking or had other issues going on, and it was a new phenomenon. So, the business district and the two sisters of St. Joseph, Sister Rita and Sister Maria, started an overnight shelter, completely volunteer staffed, and it was an overnight shelter only, and the average stay was a couple of weeks, and we've been doing that for 7 years now.
How has it evolved into what you have now, what you call, was it permanent
Supportive housing.
Permanent supportive housing? But
Yeah.
how did it evolve from you can only stay one night to
Yeah.
you can have families can stay together now, right?
As well,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So when the shelter first opened in the early '80s, it was intended for single adults in a short term.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was a crisis. It wasn't going to be an ongoing problem. Fast forward today, and we got 4 million people in this country who are homeless at one point during the year. So it's a growing number. And so what we have now is a shelter for single adults, a shelter for families, and 2 seasonal shelters, what's called the In from the Cold shelter, which is located in different churches downtown. It rotates from one month to another different location, as well as what's called the Code Blue shelter, which is set off by 32 degrees, under 32 degrees, and we expand the amount of shelter that we provide. So we served about 800 people in our shelters, plural.
And how many locations do you have?
So we have the central location, which is in Troy, downtown Troy, and that accommodates 5 families any given night, as well as 22 individuals on normal nights. And the seasonal shelters are located also downtown in different sites.
Okay. And then you recently are moved to Albany, is that?
So yeah, and in response to your other question about permanent supported housing, so over the years, our goal is to move people quickly back into housing, right? The goal of all of our services are to make homelessness rare, brief, and non-reoccurring. So as quick as possible, we try to get people into housing, affordable, safe housing. And we were doing that, we do that very successfully. And what we found, however, there was a core group of people, about 15% of the people we served, who had repeated episodes into homelessness, back into our shelter. We'd go in the community and back into the shelter. And they did well in our shelter during their shelter stays. Our average shelter stay is about a month now. And those folks would do well, but they didn't do well anywhere else that we referred to. So we started out small with a 7-unit housing program that was staffed 24 hours, focused on people who had long histories of homelessness, who were also coping with a severe disability, a mental health or a major substance abuse problem. And lo and behold, those folks did great.
Oh, okay.
So we've expanded that now. We have over 200 people who live in permanent supported apartments in Troy and also in Albany now, where we have staffing 24 hours, and these are folks who are formerly homeless.
So you guys run that?
We run
Oh,
that.
okay. Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
So when you said
That.
15% were recurring, does that mean 85% of the people found success in finding housing?
Most, and that's not unusual
Oh, okay. Well,
in
that's
this
good.
country. Most people, the vast majority of people, have one episode of homelessness, and it usually has to do with sort of temporary,
Yeah.
transitional poverty, losing an apartment, the disintegration of the family, domestic violence certainly is a factor. What folks don't recognize is the fastest growing demographic of homelessness in this country are single women under the age of 25 years of age who have one or two preschool children.
Because I was going to ask you, when we think of homelessness, we think of,
We think of a single adult out there.
and you, what percentage are actually the whole families or single women and kids? Is that-
So about a third are single women with children, and 2/3 are single adults.
Okay. Are there any whole families in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have a number. So in our county, and counties are set up differently. In our county, being Rensselaer County, I also refer to Albany County now because we're there too now. We have different shelters. There's another shelter provider that takes female head of households only. We take either female headed households or male headed households, or both mother and father. And the growing phenomenon of family homelessness is driven by affordability of housing. Housing has gone up significantly. Housing costs have gone up significantly, and wages haven't.
Yeah. So when people donate, when they register for the turkey trot, they can donate to Joseph's House.
Direct from the website, yeah.
And it sounds like you need a lot of money.
Yeah, it costs a lot.
You have so many locations.
So we
people.
have 4 24-hour programs now. They have to
okay.
be staffed 24/7, and the services and costs for food and all of those things that are involved with helping people move on. So certainly it costs a lot. Specifically, the money from the turkey trot goes to our Code Blue program,
Okay.
which is the seasonal program when the weather falls below 32 degrees.
Okay.
We open and we expand our staffing and the number of cots that we have available for individuals.
Okay.
We take everybody, no questions asked.
Okay. And George, the other group, if people want to donate when they register, the other group is the food bank, the regional food bank. I think everyone knows what they do. But how long have you guys had Joseph's House as one of your charities?
It's been about 5 years now.
Okay. All right.
And there are two main sponsors. In the past, we've sponsored a lot of different charities, not-for-profits, and we would have multiple, maybe 4 or 5 of them. But with Joseph's House, and homelessness, it's such a insidious problem. I mean, it really needs our help. Mm-hmm. And so we focused on hunger and homelessness really get you in,
Yes.
on Thanksgiving.
Particularly on, yes.
Right.
you're
So those are our two main charities, and those are the ones that for the last 5 years, but we've really been trying to help, raise money for. So as was said, you can donate right. There'll be a question when you register if you would want to donate to either or both of these charities.
And then when people come down the morning, they can bring some non-perishable foods
Yes.
for that.
That's right.
Okay. And then I guess I should mention, Kevin, because you rely on donations so much. Past the turkey trot in December, you have 2 events, which I think are fundraisers.
Yep.
It's josephshouse.org, right? Is that okay? December 7th.
Joseph'sHouseTroy.org.
josephshouse.troy.org. Yes, I don't have my glasses on. So on December 7th, which is a Saturday, you're having a winter walk in South Troy. That's down near your...
Winter Walk for the Homeless, yep. 202 4th Street is in front of one of our permanent supported housing programs, and it's intended to really raise awareness or remind people this time of year, which is a giving time of year, and a colder time of year, that people don't have that basic need.
And is it around it said on the website, is it around the market?
We end up with the market. We combine with the Little Italy, the Friends of Little Italy, and combine with that Christmas pageant. And part of their pageant is they have Joseph and Mary knocking on 3 doors,
yeah.
and we're the last door. There's no room in the inn at the previous doors, and we acknowledge that we're full too, but we'll find accommodation for Joseph and Mary, and then after that the band plays and there's food.
Okay.
It's great fun. It's also very symbolic.
And George, everyone, because we're from Troy, everyone knows where the market is, but people on the website can find it.
Yes, yes. It's not far from the downtown. It's only 3 blocks south of the central business district.
And on Wednesday night, December 11th, you're having a winter gala at Franklin Plaza. That's another fundraiser.
That's our main fundraiser of
for
the
the whole
year.
year. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we raise funds for all of our services then, and we honor people that have been particularly helpful and resourceful in helping us over many, many years.
Now, the person who runs Franklin Plaza, I went to high school with Michael.
Yeah.
You can't do better than having him.
He's doing great.
Yes,
he's a great supporter for us.
Yes, I know he does a lot of stuff for you guys.
Yes, he
He's
does.
a really
Yeah.
good guy, really great guy. So, back to the turkey trot, George.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us the times of the races and packet pickup and all the parking and
Yes, we're going to have two pre-event, pre-Thanksgiving Day packet pickup. They're going to be in the Troy atrium. One will be on
Sunday the 24th.
the 24th, and then the day before,
Wednesday the 27th
from 11 to 6
in the
p.m.
atrium. Okay,
Yeah.
and then
And you'll be able to register there too. So if you haven't, and a lot of people wait till the last.
A lot of people wait till the last minute.
So if you haven't registered, don't worry about it. And you can bring any non-perishable food items with you on either of those days prior to the race. You don't have to bring them down on the race morning.
Thanksgiving this year.
But we'll take them.
Thanksgiving this year is the 28th.
That's
It was
right.
cold last year. I don't know. It might be a little colder this year.
Well, I think I figured out a way for us to get some good weather, because the last 6 years the weather has been pretty onerous. I put a sun in the shirt design this year.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that
It's not false advertising.
I'm not a suspicious guy, but I'm hoping that might do it.
Okay.
And besides that, we're due. It's been 6 years since we've had, really nice weather.
All right. So now, what are you expecting this year? You expecting 6,500 or more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
That'd be good.
we had 6,500 registered last year with the forecast even being cold. Now, they didn't all show up because, on race morning, I think they got up and said, I think I'm just going to wait until next year.
Yes.
But it's funny, we had 40 states represented, and we do no recruiting. I mean, this is really a local event. And you know who those people are? They're those
Who moved away.
families that moved away,
Yes.
and they all come back. Isn't that something?
It is a great day in Troy.
It is a great day, and with helping with homelessness and helping with hunger, that really is what we should be doing. And of course we have all the family events there.
All right, so I'll go over them. So 8 a.m. is the 10K, and then the grade school mile is at 9:30. The turkey walk is at 9:35, and then the 5K is at 10. And I know we talked about this before, George, but the 10K and the 10K is making a big comeback, isn't it?
Yeah.
It used to be
Yes,
for years.
it is.
Everyone was doing the shorter.
Well, there are a lot of, this is a big running, the Capital District is a big running community, and it always has been. And the 10K distance you just don't see on Thanksgiving morning. I mean, there are 7 other community turkey trots
In our
on
area.
Thanksgiving morning in our area, and not one of them have a 10K except for Troy. And Troy started in 1916 with a 10K.
Yeah.
So it's,
in the early days-
symbolic for us, I guess. We really have to keep the 10K.
Well, in the early days, it was only a 10K, right?
That's right.
Okay,
Yes.
so
That was one of the ways we got the numbers up,
Having
was
it shorter.
adding a 5K because more people could do it. But yes, we had close to 2,000 registered for the 10K last year,
Oh, right.
and we had close to 5,000 registered for the 5K.
okay.
And then you get about 500 in the grade school mile and about 500 in the walk.
All right, so, and you can register online, and I'm trying to think, people come, there's plenty of parking all over.
There's more parking than you would think. A lot of people park up on the hill
Yeah.
and walk down, like up at RPI, because they open up all their parking
Yeah,
too.
I like to-
But there are a lot of, most people, Troy is pretty much closed on Thanksgiving morning except for the turkey trot.
And I don't think the police give out too many tickets on Thanksgiving, do
They
they?
don't give out any tickets
That's good.
because they're not working. Well, the police are working.
They're
but
not working for you.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's a good point. We do have a lot.
So you can register, you can't register on race day, right?
Yes,
Yes, you can.
actually you
Yeah, you
can.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have it right here. You can register on race day up to 15 minutes before your race.
Yes. Right.
All right, so you can still get in. If you want to run the 10K, it closes at 7:45.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. Is that?
But we open up bib and chip and packet pickup at 6 a.m.
All right, so you can pick
So
it up
there's
down
plenty
there.
of time.
All right, so you can register right up to the event. All right.
And you can register in person, that the 24th, Sunday the 24th, and then Wednesday the 27th, right there, if you want to go in and pick up your bib and your T-shirt and get it all done.
Now, are you running this year, Kevin?
Oh, certainly.
All right.
Yeah.
So how many have you done?
Not quite 10 yet.
All right, well, still.
This might be my 10th. Yeah,
All right, very
yeah.
good. And I was telling George before we started, I did like 37, so
I know.
I need to rest. I've taken the last couple of years off. So, and I did go down. I did go down in class, as my friends say. I went from the 10K to the 5. But,
yeah.
There's no shame in that.
It's okay. So, and now is the course, any changes? Everything's the same? Course is the same?
Course is the same. The 10K starts, they all start at the corner of Fulton
Yep.
and 4th, goes over the Green Island Bridge,
Yeah.
and then comes back into Troy, and then goes up to 111th Street,
Yes,
right
and
around
then-
Powers Park.
And the 5K is straight, up and back.
Yeah, so that goes up to 101st Street.
Okay. And then are there any big names this year? Or names
Yes.
in the area?
There will be some of the best in the area, but we don't do any recruiting, so I wouldn't know.
'Cause
And I haven't seen them sign up yet.
Because years ago, the 5K was like unofficial something, but it isn't anymore, right?
No, the 10K was.
The 10K was, but that's not anymore. All right, so.
Well, it was, it had prize money associated
Yeah.
with it, and we still do.
But it's not.
It's not a lot,
Yeah.
and we keep it on the QT. I mean, we give them enough money. You know how much
fun.
running shoes
Yeah.
are costing now? They're like $200, It's unbelievable. So at least they can buy a pair of shoes and, and some.
Now, but you were telling me before we started, the shirts this year, is this the first time you have male and female shirts?
No, we've had them before.
All right. 'cause I
But
thought
we
there
wanted
was-
to do them this year because 52% of our registrants are female.
Oh, okay.
So we thought it'd be nice to have a female cut shirt.
Okay, very
Has
good. All right.
And it's a 60-40 blend, so it's really soft, but it still wicks away the perspiration.
And I know in other years when you've been here, you forgot to bring one yet again.
Yet again. I know.
But anyway, it's on our website. And is there anything
Sorry.
else new about this year's race we should know about?
No, it's about the same.
Because I think people like the tradition, they like the sameness.
We're still doing the costume contest, and we have Hannaford's giving us gift certificates, top 3 in traditional.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
And top 3 in non-traditional. Would be any costume. But if you're Thanksgiving themed, then
okay.
you get we're awarding top 3.
Okay, so
it's I think it's $200, $150.
All right, so there's a costume contest. There's some pictures that people will be seeing as we talk. There's also, aren't there like family groups you can do, or
there's,
mother, daughters?
Yes, there's 10
different categories.
family teams.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and then we have a big corporate team
right.
Division as well. So
Are
these
they-
companies can
Oh, yeah. 'cause-
come together, and
Yeah.
I know you put a
great.
corporate team
Yep,
in
yep, we have.
from Joseph's house.
Are they as popular as just people running individually, the corporate and the?
Yeah, they got pretty popular.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had like 90 teams.
Oh, really? Okay.
In the corporate team, the top 3 score. You can have as many as 5 members on it, and the top 3 score. And we had like 144.
All right.
Yeah, it was amazing.
All right, so.
Most of them were in the friends and family side of
Yeah,
it.
okay.
But
I do notice a lot of families all wear matching
Yeah.
shirts, and then is there a corporate team for your?
We have, we have our purple T-shirts designed by Siena College students. Say Joseph's House and Shelter in the back, and then the front says "Keep calm and end homelessness." That's very clever.
A good message. All right, so that is, I think that's it, George.
Yes.
November 28th, Thanksgiving, a little bit later this year, Turkey Trot. The website is turkeytrot.com, troyturkeytrot.com. You can register, and the money you can donate to the Regional Food Bank or Joseph's House to help the homeless.
Can I say something
Oh,
about
one more thing.
Pioneer?
Oh, one other thing, yes.
Yeah, Pioneer has started a new foundation, and they're adding up to $2,500 matching from their foundation, which is
Okay.
nice. It
And
helps.
the other thing I forgot to mention is on your website, Kevin, you can go to any Pioneer branch. I think there's like over 20, and they have a thing to donate for your
A
organization.
donation, yep, donating, you can donate up to $5, and you get to buy a little house, and it supports the service.
This has nothing to do with Turkey. You can just
Right,
go to
correct,
any,
yes.
it's all year round, right?
Yep,
So
yep.
Pioneer Bank is a big supporter of.
The big supporter of homeless services to the region in general, but
Okay.
specifically Joseph's House and Shelter.
All right.
And they're a big supporter of the Regional Food Bank as well.
That's right,
On,
okay.
on,
And I know on the,
365 days a year.
I know you do have, there are many sponsors, and, all right, so George,
Thank you.
I'll probably
Joe.
see you next year, because I feel you're going to still be doing this into your 70s. and
God
80s.
willing.
Yes. All right,
I
so
will be.
we'll see you all down at the Turkey Trot, and we'll see you next time on Getting to Know You.